What's going on, beautiful people? Ollelito back here with a brand new video on the channel. Today, guys, I don't have my glasses on me, but it's Tuesday, which means Tutorial Tuesday. And in today's episode, I will be showcasing to you guys how you defend in the EFC 25. This will be both how to prevent your opponents from getting into the box, but also if they reach inside your box, what do you need to do? So let's just jump into today's video. In today's video, guys, I will be going through clips and we'll try to analyze and go through them in more into detail what is inside here when I'm playing, but also what you need to do. But also I'm going to play the whole clip and not just pause it, because I know that's a bit of a feedback you guys gave me and I know I need to take that into consideration as well. So I will play the whole clip, then after that we analyze through it. So I played RVP from Romania, one of the best pro players in the world, and we played him in the Cash Cup this past weekend where we finished top 33 in the whole of Europe, which is a pretty good achievement for us. But this was a really tough game, and he's super good in attack, so I needed to put on a defensive masterclass to be able to beat him. So yeah, this is going to be a few good clips from this game for sure. Let's just jump in right to it. So we're already starting from minute 1, and RVP is very good at finding his strikers. So take into consideration, this was 4-4-2 against 4-4-2, no 5-back, no 4-4-1-1, and it also depends on what formation you're playing in this game, because if you're facing a 5-back, obviously it might be harder to find your strikers, etc. But for now, this is going to be how you defend in a 4-4-2 formation then. So you have, of course, two center midfielders, and the thing I like to do in 4-4-2 is to try to put pressure on my opponent pretty high up the pitch. So you see here, at the moment, I'm in the blackets and RVP finds a Ginola. The thing I do second man press pretty quickly with Olle, but at the same time, I try to cover the passing lane to De Jong. The thing that I'm a bit late with, as he turns away from me, is now he has this open pass onto R9, which is not really too scary. I just see that his Ginola is making a run. You see he's pointing his arm like this. I think he did L1 pass towards Ginola. And the thing that comes to my mind here is that I directly need to cover the space in behind Dalot, who is my right back. So the thing I do, he finds his strikers, and he can't really play this pass on one touch because he's still offside when he receives the ball here. So the thing I do, I see, okay, he doesn't really have a lot of options. He's trying to do the play lock first to Mbappé, then switches off to Ginola. And you will see this is a common theme in how he actually attacks, with a lot of play locks, making it very hard for me to defend. So the thing I do, when he gets the ball with Ginola, I try to be on him, try to be aggressive, and also try to press circle. So the thing I do, I'm not really getting too close to Ginola, but when he gets the ball with R9 here, and he doesn't really have control over it, then I decide, okay, I'm holding in R2 and L2. As you see there, L2 is the jockey defending, which I use, which is basically a bit more of a precise defending. The defender will basically be like this. So if I'm a defender like this, the defender will go down like this, and you will have more control over him basically. So the thing that's happening then, I have more control over Van Dijk, and you see I'm exactly in the lane here to get the ball. As you see on my controller, I'm pressing circle and I managed to get the ball, and we can start the attack from there. So if we play through the whole clip again, he manages to play himself out of our pressure, which doesn't really matter because this is not a dangerous sequence. But when he doesn't really have a lot of options, then I decide, okay, now I want to be aggressive. Then you need to go in and press circle to win the ball, which we basically do, and from here we can start our attack. So this is going to be another sequence. I didn't show you these two goals because they are not really goals you can really defend, so I decided to go into this kind of sequence instead. So the thing we do when we are in a 4-4-2 defending like this is that we always want to prevent our opponent to find his strikers, because when he finds his strikers, that's when we need to go more manual. Of course, when you play the best players in the world, they are so good at finding their strikers, so you need to be very good in terms of 1v1 defending with the center backs. But to prevent them from finding their strikers is that we need to cover the passing lanes with our midfielders. So you see here, for example, I do second man press with Vini, but at the same time I'm grabbing De Jong because I want to prevent RVP in this case from finding the pass from Lauren James into Mbappé. So it's totally fine if he manages to find Valverde or De Jong in this kind of sequence. So the thing I do then is that I try to drag back R9 to cut this passing lane. It's very hard in this year's game though, because the strikers in 4-4-2 are in general just standing and not really defending. So the thing I do then, I see that his Mbappé is making a run, then I switch directly to De Jong by right stick switching to try to cover that passing lane. And I try to also bring down R9. I'm a bit late in switching, and from here the most important thing is to try to, as I said, cover the space into the strikers. The thing he decides to do then is a play lock L1 triangle, which in this case is not going to work because I have Van Dijk with aerial. We win the ball, and from here we can start our attack. So once again, just look at the movement, how I'm switching basically, and how effective the switching is. And here I don't really do a lot. I try to put pressure on the ball holder, but at the same time try to cover the pass to his strikers. And from this, I mean, he made a pretty rushed pass in my opinion, and from this we can start our attack. And yeah, unfortunately offside, but overall pretty decent defending from our side. So, as you see in this kind of sequence, he manages to find the striker. And as I said before, this is kind of the space that you want to cover with the CMs. But if you can't do this, and if you feel like your opponent constantly is finding this kind of space with the strikers, the thing you need to do then is that you need to be on the strikers manually. So, in this kind of sequence, Arnan has the ball. And here, I shouldn't switch away from Van Dijk. I should probably just press circle, because the circle button is your best friend in this year's game. Because the cooldown of the circle button is super high. So you will be able to press tackle, but then again, you will be able to tackle right away then. So try to press circle as much as you can, but also when the opponent is close to the ball, because if you just spam circle, you will step out with your center backs, and then you will lead into players being out of position. So the thing I should have done there is that I should try to be closer to R9 first and then press circle. Doesn't matter though. When it gets into this kind of space, this is fine. You see, I'm dragging down my CM. Here, when I'm getting close to Valverde, I should just do second press with Young, and then take my Valverde to cut the passing lane into R9, because the pass here to Mbappé, he can't find, especially not with Valverde, who has 0 playstyles in passing, in terms of like the ping pass and tiki-taka. He has the long ball, but I don't do that. So R9 gets into this kind of sequence. And the thing that happens here is that R9 gets into a 1v1 situation versus Virgil van Dijk, which is super hard to defend this year, especially because of the quick step plus and the speed boost. So the thing I'm finding myself in here is that I am 1v1 R9 versus Van Dijk, and he has an advantage over me. So the thing he does, he's doing a bit of L1 dribbling, then he decides, okay, I'm going to go in between the space of the fullback and center back. I am a bit late with switching. I get a bit lucky here that it misses, because I mean, he can score that, but the angle wasn't the greatest. But if we look back at that whole kind of clip again, he is really good once again at finding his strikers. So this is what you need to do if you find yourself into these kind of pockets of space all the time. Just try to be on him as much as you can, but also try to track back a bit more with my CMs. I should have done better there with Valverde. Now again, he didn't score, but this will help you massively if you're struggling to actually, you know, cut off these kind of passes to the strikers. Bring down your CM and try to keep the middle as compact as possible. So guys, this is going to be the last clip of today's video, and this is going to be a super important video, because this is a sequence where I unfortunately concede a very stupid goal, and it's basically because I'm way too passive inside the box. So RVP gets into this kind of space in the box, and when usually opponents get into this kind of space, they want to play the ball into the box and then try to cook his opponent, which in this case is me. He finds the ball out with De Jong here, and I think I defend this pretty well. You see, it's very compact. They can't really find a lot of players. The thing he does then, he finds R9, and from this kind of position, I'm not really in trouble. There is nothing that can harm me. The thing I should do here is to probably track back with Valverde to try to cut this kind of lane that he can run like just straight up and then try to score a finesse. But the thing I do instead, which is fine here, I'm reading that he is going to do something. The thing is, he is in the best position here, because he just needs to wait for me to do something. So he is in a perfect position. The thing I do then, here with Van Dijk, I'm perfectly fine. I'm in the perfect position, and here I should just go into him and try to press tackle to tackle the ball. The thing that can happen here is also that I give away a pen, but I don't think that would have happened. The thing I do though is that I am in front of him here, and I should just be calm here. But when he does this kind of skill move, he actually cooks me. And he does a reverse or a very good L1 normal elastico, which basically cooks me here. But the thing I need to be on him way more. I mean, I'm on him here. So I just need to just stay in the lane, not really back off like I do, then try to go in to tackle him. So if you go back, once again, you see in the last second, I back off here with Van Dijk, as you see here. And I shouldn't really back off. I should just stay my ground, just wait for him to commit the skill move, and then when he does the skill move, then I commit for a tackle where I press circle. I try to take the ball basically. So that was a bit of a fail for me. But it happens, these kind of games, I mean, it's a lot of nerves going on here. And this was only the first leg, this was a BO2, and we were actually going to concede again after this one. We get very unlucky here with Dalot doing a tactical foul there. I think we did the right thing. The thing that happens here though, is also going to be an interesting sequence. He gets down the line, and here I need to also be way more compact. He doesn't really have a chance from here. Somehow he scores. I need to be closer with Van Dijk here in general on Mbappé, and shouldn't really switch to De Jong. So when I am this close to a striker, just try to stay in his lane. I shouldn't switch here. I should just keep on being on Mbappé with Van Dijk, because when he gets into this kind of sequence, I don't think Mbappé should score this anyway, even though he does. Is a bit of a, I mean, I'm getting a bit of unlucky here, I'm gonna be honest, even though he does this well. But I need to be on him more, and that's one tip for you guys. Try to stay on your opponents when they are inside the box. And one tip is to actually use the L2 then jockey, because that will make you feel more control with the center backs. And that's what the L2 does basically. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Let me know down in the comments if you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe, because I see that you are not subscribing, so please do that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for today, boys. See you soon. Bye-bye.